Hi guys, and welcome to this class that I'm teaching on my Patreon. This video is actually going to be on my Patreon, so if you are not subscribed or actually a member, a patron, it's only $1.99 per month to join, and I'm teaching psychic and mediumship classes, and we're covering all kinds of spiritual topics. So if you are looking at this on my YouTube channel, just remember you can go to my Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/psychic medium Ray. Also, if you're looking at this on my YouTube channel, in the description box below the video, you will see that. And if you're looking at this on Instagram, I will try to put the link also on the video as well, or in the description box of the video. But I want to welcome you to this series. In today's class, what I'm going to be teaching and talking about is spirit, and the way that they get our attention, and why they do what they do. So the first thing that I want to talk about and make sure that everybody is on the same page is that when we talk about spirit and spirit energy and how they communicate with us, you have to keep in mind that they do not have a corporeal body. They don't have a body like this to communicate and speak from the mouth, out. So a lot of their communication is going to be in what we always talk about in the spiritual community, which is signs, symbols, or if you have a spiritual gift such as clairaudience, where you can hear them through the mind, or if you have clairvoyance, you can pick up on information and conversations. But if you're a medium, you're going to be channeling a lot of that. So sometimes it's like an internal conversation, almost like your clairaudient ability would be turned on, and they're speaking to you or giving you messages at the soul level, so that way you can communicate with them. But sometimes spirit actually doesn't do that at all. Sometimes spirit will will do things and kind of manipulate your environment. This can be spirit guides or spirits, but typically we're going to see a lot of physical manifestation from actual spirit guides. So let me give you an example. Earlier today, for example, I had ordered a Chick-fil-A Cobb salad, and let me tell you, honey, those Chick-fil-A Cobb salads are the bomb, the bomb diggity, right? So I don't know if a lot of people are fans of Chick-fil-A or use it, regardless of the political stance, etc. Food is food, and it's universal. But anyways, I love me some Chick-fil-A Cobb salad, and I don't know what was wrong with this salad, but I had it in my refrigerator to actually eat it later on. And when I opened the refrigerator, the salad came popping out and spilled all over to the floor. And so, Ray, he's not going to eat anything, especially with Miss Corona. And even if Miss Corona wasn't around, I don't eat anything up off the floor, because that whatever second rule, that 3-second rule or whatever, that don't work, because there's bacteria and things. And even though I keep my floors clean, okay, that's just something that I wanted to talk about. I know a lot of you are going to probably be laughing if you're listening to this video, but just to keep it real, spirit, something was not right with the salad. I do believe that, and sometimes that they will do that to me. If it comes from food that's being delivered, not that the driver would have put anything, but maybe it had some type of bacterial infection, some kind of germ in it, to be precise. Spirit will sometimes have your back, and they will knock it out of your hand, or they will throw it onto the floor. And I feel like it's very important that we realize that, and that's the reason I'm coming to you today in this live, well, not live, but in this class that I'm actually teaching. And I hate that it's not horizontal, it's vertical, but I wanted to make sure that I could post it on all platforms. So that's the reason the video is like this. But sometimes spirit operates in that manner, in that they will manipulate objects and make them fall, so that way you kind of avoid that. You can say that they have your back, they are protecting you. Sometimes they can be mischievous, and let's say you have a set of keys or an item that has gone missing, like a ring, and you can't find that ring. I had that scenario happen to me like years ago. I had a ring, it was a cosmetic, a fake one, it was before I started getting heavily into the actual gemstones, like I have here, the amber and the amber and the rainbow moonstone ring. But before I got into those, I had like a fake costume jewelry ring. It was really big because I love bling and stuff like that. So I had that on my finger, and then all of a sudden one day I didn't have it on my finger. I woke up, I was like, oh my God, where's my ring? I did not feel it come off of my hand. I did not feel drop. So somewhere in the nighttime, spirit was mischievous and took my ring. So I think a lot of you misunderstand, or not misunderstand, but kind of don't understand how strong spirit can be, and they can't take objects. They literally can take objects and hide them. So I scoured the house completely. I looked in boxes. I looked in the last place I thought I had it, and lo and behold, I could not find that ring for about 5 days later. Well, then one day, you know, 5 days later, I went to my pantry and I was like, you know, I'm just having this craving for popcorn. I love, you know, popcorn. So I went in to get the box of popcorn that has the bags, you know, that you put in the microwave. I know I should make it fresh. I shouldn't be using the microwave, but anyways, don't judge me. So anyways, I got the bag, got the box out, and I didn't look in it, but I put my hand in the box, and as I was putting my hand in the box, I felt something move in the box, and I felt my ring, but I didn't know it was the ring. So then I looked and I was like, oh my God. I had moved everything, moved mountains. I had moved sofa pads, moved the sofas. I had looked in all my boxes and stuff in my bedroom, under my bed, in shoes. I had tore up things looking for it. And a lot of you are going to say, well, aren't you psychic? Like, aren't you supposed to know that? But the thing is that our gifts don't always work like that. Spirit is, when there is something mischievous, or there's a lesson or something behind it, they're not going to allow us to see it. But in the fact that sometimes spirit will guide you, even after the fact that they have misplaced the object, your spirit guides, those spirits that are kind of mischievous sometimes will guide you, and it could be in the form of a craving. You would crave popcorn. Maybe when they were alive, they also had cravings for popcorn. So it's funny how things operate. Some people would be looking at this and say, you're entirely crazy. It's just coincidence. But it's not coincidence. That's how spirit operates, and that's how they communicate with us a lot of times, is moving things. And I had to do this video, even though it's not going to be a lengthy video, but I had to film this and actually give you a little snippet, a little pearl of wisdom from spirit, because of the fact that I had my salad like dropped, and I was really pissed off. Let me just tell you, I was like, I cannot believe that spirit would go and drop my salad. I was like, girl, come on. But they did. And so Ray Ray is without a salad, and I was looking forward to that Cobb salad, because if you have not had a Chick-fil-A Cobb salad, let me tell you, it's one of the best. Now, that's just my opinion, but it really is. But yeah, spirit will do that. They can move objects. They can turn, you know, your phones completely off. I've had TVs turn completely off, and lights just go off, or lights flicker. This is their way to let you know that they are around. Some of us are very disconnected, or sometimes we just don't want to be connected to our gift and tune into what spirit is having to say. So sometimes they will manipulate those objects to say, woohoo, I'm here, you know, I'm here, hello, knock knock, and then you kind of realize, oh, well, maybe someone is here, someone is trying to get my attention. So a lot of those aha moments where you have, you know, like objects move or things thrown, that's spirit's way of getting your attention or protecting you. Sometimes they will hide your keys if they know that you're in danger. The thing that I feel like a lot of people that would be tuning into this class or tuning into this episode, which I believe this is episode 20 now of my psychic and mediumship courses. So they're all listed in Patreon. Again, for those of you that have missed, you need to sign up. I'm not trying to push you, but if you feel guided to take a course, I feel like a lot of you would benefit from this, because this is a lot of content that I don't typically or normally talk about on my YouTube channel, because I feel like it needs to be taught in a private area away from that. So join my Patreon if you feel guided to from spirit. But the thing is that I feel like a lot of people think that spirit, you know, they don't really have our back. But in reality, sometimes they may hide your keys, because they, I guess when I was going back, I lost my train of thought. I get into that mindset as I'm giving a lot of information to you guys. But a lot of times they will do what they do because they have a reason. They know that you're in danger, or they know that they can't get it across to you in a certain way, so it's better for them to operate in that manner and do that. Sometimes if they hide your keys, it could be that there was an accident. And that's the thing that I wanted to say. I just remember now as I'm talking, is that spirit has future insight. They have future ways of communicating and actually knowing and seeing beforehand. Like, you have to understand, we are governed, and I've spoken about this in my psychic and mediumship courses. Those of you that are on my Patreon, you know, and you're a patron, a monthly patron, you will know that I've spoken about this before. But for those of you that are tuning in for the very first time, you would benefit from knowing this, is that spirit has future tense knowledge of the future and certain things. Now, there's limitations to what they know. They don't know, like, when we're going to die. I would say sometimes they don't know, but for the most part, they're not privy to, like, all-knowing stuff. But they will know certain things that are future oriented. But why? Because spirit's time is different than our time. We are governed by a 24/7 clock. When we die and we transition into the spirit world, the spirit world is not governed by a 24-hour clock or cycle. Time is basically is non-existent on that plane. But even though time is not existent on that plane, they are accelerated in time. So meaning, like, when people have had near-death experiences or crossed over, a lot of times they know things that are happening before, you know, they happen, and they come back, they're like, I saw all this and all this, or they try to give you a message. A lot of times spirit has access to those things before they happen, like accidents or things. And if it's not your time and they are your guardian angel or your spirit guide assigned to you, they're going to do certain things to protect you, because sometimes, like I said, you may be disconnected from your gift. So they do have future, or, you know, even though they are not governed by time on the other side, they have, it's almost like if we were, you know, to govern it by time, they're almost like, you know, sometimes months in advance or years in advance. So I don't want to even push it that far and say, but months in advance on the other side, and they know before something's going to happen. There are certain things that they cannot intervene with, especially with our free will, and they cannot intervene with certain things that are going to happen that are predestined and written into our chart. But if it is going to cause us danger, and they do feel like source is telling them, you know, that it's not our time, or it's not time for something to happen, or a certain event, they can intercede, and they can do that. That's what guardian angels are supposed to do, and that's what sometimes the roles of our spirit guides are doing, you know. So if you are kind of upset, because God knows I was upset, I was like, I know they just didn't knock my Cobb salad, okay, out of the refrigerator onto the floor. And not only that, but I had to go and clean up that mess. And, you know, who enjoys, you know, bending over and having to get all that salad off of the floor and then wipe it clean and, you know, kind of clean your area? I mean, that's crazy, but that's how spirit operates. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this kind of hilarious, because I know I did, and I hope everybody is staying safe, everybody's doing well. Get you some tea, some crackers, and go to my YouTube channel and binge watch all of my videos if you haven't. And if you are on my Patreon, binge watch. If you just signed up today after this video and you're like, you know what, I want to see what Ray has to say further, go ahead and sign up on my Patreon. And when you do, go and binge watch all of the classes from episode 1 all the way to episode 21. I think this is going to be 21. But I really enjoy sharing this knowledge, and I hope that you are loving this, because this is like one of the 1 or 2 videos that I actually will share to all platforms to kind of give you a taste of what to experience in my my classes. So thank you again. Also, all of my readings are on sale until Wednesday the 21st, so you have 2 more days to book a reading. I would say 3 days if you count today, but today's almost over with. It's almost 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have not yet booked a reading with me, this is the time. And again, my turnaround time is tentatively speaking 5 to 8 weeks. By email, if you do a chat, it's 3 to 6 months out. And I do offer emergency readings if you need it within 72 hours time frame. So again, much love and blessings. Until next time, bye.